Hey guys, just another video here today, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Panther 2, which is one of the best vehicles for BR. Now, also at 6.7 in Germany, you have the Tiger 2. The Panther compared to the Tiger 2H. While it's more mobile, its armor is almost as effective because it's got the same weak spots. Granted, the weak spot on the Tiger, if you angle it well, being the turret cheeks, you can bounce quite a few shots. But this is a lot more mobile. So we're here on a game on Korea. And this is one of the new maps that was added in the most recent patch 1.59 or whatever it is. And so I have my bushes on and stuff just because I was using it in squad battles the other day. But there's some pretty interesting positions you can get in on this map with the Panther, being that it's 1, very mobile, 2, has good armor, and 3, its power to weight ratio is good, so it can climb up hills pretty well. It doesn't have much of an issue with that. So I'm heading down the road, and I'm just kind of... This map can be very snipey, depending on how the players are reacting to it, but that being said, you can still find flank routes on it. Which you don't really need to do in the Panther, because it does have the long 88, that is the same as the Tiger 2. So, I don't really need to, and if I could drive, I would not have actually hit that rock. But, so, I'm just kind of driving up into the hill. There's a nice hill position that's kind of... It's usually a couple heavy tanks that go there. There's not always someone that'll go there. And this is where my plan is. The Panther 2 in front of me is going up to it as well. But the reason I wanted to go up here is because if there were no heavy tanks up here, then I could get shots down into the A cap. So my plan was to just come up here and defend the cap from the other team. So I'm driving up to the hill, and I'm following this other Panther, and I'm just kind of hoping that we don't see any IS-3s up here. Because if you're fighting an IS-3 frontally, because that's about what the BR was this game, you're going to have some problems penetrating it. You can do the driver's hatch, but it's fairly hard to hit. But luckily there's nothing up here, which just gives us free reign to snipe from up here. Well, it's not really even sniping, it just gives us nice flank shots into the sides of the enemy tanks. Now they have already capped, so that means that there was something fairly mobile down there. So I wasn't really paying attention to what it was, because I didn't really care. I wanted to get up here. So now, as you can see, I'm kind of just looking to see what I can see, because this isn't a very common position. Not very many people know it's here, and not only that, people that do know it's here assume that there's a heavy tank on their team that's going up here to defend it from mediums like me. Now I see that bush falling over, and I'm looking for the tank that caused it to fall over, because I can shoot through all of these buildings, and there's my first victim, a nice IS-3. So I am wreck him, and just make sure no one else sees me. I didn't appear to see anyone else. However, I did see 2 tanks driving through here before. So now I'm looking for the other one. I had no idea what it was, as I only saw its machine gun, and I get a glimpse of it there, and now I realize I have a side shot on a T-29. It's just a matter of actually finding where it is. So I fire a speculative shot to where I think it may have been, and, well, obviously it wasn't there, because it lived. So, I'm just kind of waiting on the reload, looking for him, and there he is. So, first shot, I kind of rushed, goes into the engine and sets him on fire. He returns fire, but instead of stopping and repairing right away, I line up my gun on him so that I can fire as soon as I reload. Now, I get set on fire. I'm not sure what that was, because it should not have been the T-29 reloading that fast, and if it was, he should have killed me. So waiting for my gunner to come back up. Now I still have to reload again because my loader was knocked out. And I'm down to 2-3 crew. I can't read it right now, because it's just a small screen. So while this T-29 is here, I'm kind of hoping one of my teammates will take care of him. But in the end, my gunner comes back, my turret traverse comes back, and I can finish him off on my own. Now, I should have killed him in the first shot there, had I not rushed it and just waited to shoot him in the side. But because of that, I didn't. But because I didn't, I have to sit here and wait to the repair, which isn't a huge deal because there's nothing else around here. And as soon as I repair, I can just continue back onto where I was and go down through the medium tank path, or the path that I came up on, along to the other side of the enemy spawn, which will give me even more side shots onto tanks that don't see me because they're not realizing where we're coming from. Sorry about that, I'm rather sick right now. So, I'm almost in my repair, and here's kind of where we're going to see the mobility of the Panther come in. This thing can do 50 kilometers an hour, no problem. And it's got just as effective, and its frontal armor is almost as effective as a Tiger too. So you can see why people call this thing overpowered, because, well, I mean, 50 kilometers an hour mobility and armor, that's something to be reckoned with. There's not much can deal with it that well. But on the armor respect, its side armor is rather weak, which means it can get killed from a plane very easily. Rockets and bombs will kill it no problem, just because they can penetrate the weak side armor a lot easier. So here I see a Zis truck, or gas truck, and it's the new one that was added this patch, and I haven't seen very many of them, so I have no idea where to shoot it. So let's just say not my best moment trying to kill this thing, but yeah, completely miss all of his important crew modules there. And I try to start machine gunning him because I have no idea if I can or not, because like I said, I haven't seen these things very often, but mostly because most people don't bother getting new AA trucks when they come out if they're already past them. So he falls back behind the hill, and there is a T-29 right in front of me that somebody luckily killed, otherwise I would have died to that T-29. So now my plan is just to push up and push the side of this gas truck, because I'm bad and couldn't kill it in 2 shots already with my 88 and having difficulty machine gunning it because I'm bad. And he was waiting for me, which is kind of what I was expecting. The first shot goes in and kills his driver, which means he's now stuck there. So now I start machine gunning him and kill his gunner, and now I'm just trying to look for his other crew members and trying to do as much damage as I can while hopefully still getting the kill from a friendly. And it takes forever to reload because I don't have a loader. As soon as I know his gunner's back up, 88 right to the head of the gunner. Doesn't really like that too much and dies. So now it's kind of that end of the game kind of thing where not very many tanks left and you're just kind of looking for the last few guys. There's a couple guys in planes and there's a few left on the ground. There's not very many left on the ground. So you gotta be very careful checking your corners because it's gonna be that guy camping the corner. Now I see somebody machine gunning something over here. I realize it's an M19 and just put a shot through the front. That's really the end of this game, so I'm going to cut it off here because the last, I think it was 7 or 8 minutes is just looking for no one and driving around and finding nothing. So I'm going to skip to the next game. My next game was a match on Finland, and I don't have the winter count for this yet, so I'm stuck with the default one. Now, it is the domination one with the 3 caps, so you can do some pretty interesting things on the ice along the A with the Panther. But as an any tank, and as I'm sure you've seen if you watched the Thunder show, you have to be quite careful on the ice on this map. Otherwise, you'll just fall right through. And let's just say it's not fun falling through ice. Cats don't like water. So, my plan is to go out to the A cap, because no one expects people to be on the ice, and then I know a few positions where I can hide the Panther fairly well. So that's exactly what my plan is. Now, I don't want to get too aggressive and just push and give someone a side shot on me, which is normally what I do because I'm not a very good tanker. So I want to go down and around and get onto the ice in a spot where people can't see me all the time. So I'm pushing. My plan isn't to get the A cap before the enemy. My plan is to slowly take over the point, as there are not many people coming with me down here. So I take the lower lane here so no one sees me going onto the ice, because if I get seen I can easily get killed by T-29, because that thing is another amazing tank. So as you can already see, I'm having issues with the ice because it's not flat. It's all broken up and pushed up and all holes everywhere. So you have to be very, very careful. And also, if you run minimum or low graphics, I don't recommend going on the ice at all, as it's just a white sheet and it's very hard to see the holes. So yeah, definitely advise against that. Like, even such a small hole as that, you can fall through that if you get really unlucky. So there is something on the C cap, pushed very fast, probably a T-34 of some kind. And so I know that there's something there now, so I'm going back on land, but the point of the going on the ice was that I would be behind a bunch of the cover, and I want to stay behind the cover in the form of this rock up here, as it's not the easiest to get to, and you have to go across the ice if you don't want to be seen getting to it if someone tries to cap. Now there is another common position over there where I'm looking and the enemy's team will go try and snipe across the ice and get side shots. But right here gives me side shots and anyone trying to drive into the donut shaped thing in the middle, which is exactly what that guy was trying to do. So with that guy out of the match, T-44, now I stop and I reload and wait and see if anyone else is going to try to make it across there and make it to the middle cap. And sure enough, a T-29 does as well. So that was two quick kills in quick succession because the T-29 neither of them ever bothered to look and make sure that no one was over here, because not very many people do come over here. So now I'm just kind of being passive, not really sure if anything else came over here, and that's why they could afford to be so aggressive, or if they just wanted to try and get to the middle cap for more XP and lines. Which was probably the more likely of the two, but better safe than sorry, right? So I'm gonna wait, and then I'm still gonna stay along the ice, because I don't want to just give my position away for nothing. Still checking common spots that I know people will try and get you from on the ice. Now, I have to avoid this huge hole in the ice, and my plan is to go around and get back on land right around where the cap circle is and decap from there. So, once again, watching for holes in the ice, don't want to just fall through, because trust me, it's not fun. I've been there. You get made fun of a lot if you're in a squad, so just don't fall through the ice. Problem solved. And it didn't really look like there was anything else over here, so I'm just gonna get on the cap circle and go for the cap, because, well, I mean, free XP, right? I am trying to spade this thing at this point after all, since I still don't have it fully upgraded, even though it's got a talisman on it. So now I'm on the cap circle, which will give my position away to everyone. So I need to keep an eye out, and I want to park somewhere where I shouldn't be seen from the middle in case somebody else went through. And I shouldn't be seen if someone that I killed respawned and is now coming down here. Which is exactly what's happening. So as I'm sitting on cap, don't just go AFK when you're capping. That's a good recipe to die. So I'm keeping an eye out, making sure that nothing sees me. And then I see over the top of this house an ISU in 52. And I don't think he ever saw me, so I just fire him through. It's probably the T-44 that I killed. That's all he could respawn in, and came back looking for me. So now that I've capped, I want to go through the middle and try to get a couple more side shots into people, because that's more help to my team than it would be if I just went spawn camped. Now right there you saw, those are a bunch of really small bombs. If that guy was upgraded, I probably would have died. But nonetheless, the mobility lets me get away from the bombs. So now, like I said, I want to drive up to the middle. I want to see what I can find for enemy tanks, see what's left. And we do have the middle cap, which tells me that there shouldn't be too much, and that I could probably just push right around to the A cap, which was my plan. But the Panther in front of me is starting to call for assistance. As I come around the corner, I see why. He's being rushed by a T-34, and I believe he's repairing. So I help him finish off the T-35, since that probably would have killed him, since as I mentioned, it looked like he was repairing, or had knocked out his horizontal drive, or something like that. So now I can just continue to push on right through, since that guy just died. Now, I want to drive up the street and around, and because it'll give me a lot better position than it would if at this point in the battle, we have two caps. We don't need to push the third one, but they don't have any tanks left, so you may as well and end the game faster. But yeah, when you're pushing, always make sure you're paying attention to absolutely everything, and not looking the wrong way when getting shot by a T-62, because these things are everywhere right now, because they just got a heat round. Luckily I did live the first shell, but he's smart and didn't just sit on the hill. And well, that was the end of the Panther for me. I hopped in my 262A2A and bombed out a couple tanks, and we wound up losing the game. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.